coming back to school with me. We could have done it all so easily.
Hi, my name is Craig Thompson-Wood. I'm the board game teacher. Thanks for coming to my games room. Here today to do a review of this game, which was actually a kind donation to me. It is called Rukshuk by Zabazoo. So looking at the report card for Rukshuk, I'm going to give the number of players a B+. B+ because the B is, like I usually say, about 4 players, which is a nice sort of size for a group, but this plays up to 5, so I'll give it the B+ because it goes just that little bit above. So B+. For learning, I'm going to give the game C+. It doesn't really sort of teach a lot sort of curricularly. I mean, what it's doing, I'll talk a little bit about this now, it's a game where you're balancing rocks on top of each other, and you're doing so to create sort of representations of famous rock formations which are out in the world. So it has that nice little tie into the geography, where if you're going to be doing something with rocks and these rock formations in geography, then maybe you can sort of do this game as a little introduction, sort of a little amuse-bouche of the brain, if you will, to get the mind sort of into the idea of rocks. But it doesn't really sort of teach about those rocks beyond the names, and even the formations of the things you make in here to represent those formations, they don't really look the same, but it's all good. What you are learning, though, through this game is you are getting some work with your hand-eye coordination, your fine motor skills for sure, your manual dexterity, absolutely, because you're doing all this balancing, and sometimes even the cards are requiring you to do things maybe with your offhand. So if you're right-handed, well, I guess I'm showing my left hand. If you're left-handed, then you use your right hand and vice versa. So, yeah, you got that. And then even more than the geography too is the mathematics that you're learning in this, because when you're scoring the points, each rock is worth so many points, but then they give on the map, they show you what you're supposed to build. You're supposed to build to a particular configuration of rocks according to the cards that you have, and then where your rocks are there, as I say, every rock's worth so many points, but in some spots on the map it's going to show that they're worth triple or double points. So that's something to keep in mind as well. So the calculations of the addition, the multiplication, and everything, you're going to be constantly playing with the numbers and working that out, tallying up total scores and stuff. So there's a little bit of math involved with this. So, but like I said, overall, it's nothing really heavy in terms of like you're going to be learning something, and it's really great at teaching this particular skill. But what it's doing is just it's introducing the subject and just having some fun with it while learning some of the things about having a little practice with your mathematics and practicing your fine motor skills, manual dexterity. For fun, I'll give the game a B. It's a fun little dexterity game, and it has some elements of like where you can interact with other players too, where you're forcing them to swap rocks with you, or to swap cards or whatever. So there's some fun to it, and I mean it's look at the cover here. It's actually won several awards too. I think that's worth mentioning. But yeah, overall I think B is a solid B for fun. For time, I'm going to give the game an A. The game plays really quickly. It plays between 10 to 30 minutes. The setup is super easy. The cleanup is super easy. So it's one of those games which is and it's easy to bring out and play and then be done with. And even with the longer end of the time there, where it says up to 30 minutes, that's if you're playing with the 5 players and if everybody's playing on their own cards. It's again one of these games that maybe everybody just takes one turn, or you don't even worry about the points. You're just trying to build the structures as you can. So overall, it's just a really quick game, and that's why I give it the A. As for cost, I'm going to give it a question mark. It's a little bit hard to find right now. It's not one of those games which is super popular, so you're not going to easily find it out there. I've seen copies of it when I did a little bit of research for this on eBay. I saw some on Amazon and such. They're looking about $15 US, so maybe you can find something here. It's the kind of game to maybe look out for if you're interested in this kind of thing in a thrift store or something like that, to see if you can find a copy. Yeah, so it's not something I can sort of say go to this particular store and get it. I could speak to Level Up Games and see if they'd be able to get a copy of it. If you're interested in this game, let me know, and I can maybe contact them, or you can contact them yourself and find out if they can get this game. But for now, I can't really speak to how much it costs because I don't know. So let me take it to the table and I'll show you how this game is played. So these are the rules for Rukshuk here. And they talk about different things. And actually, one thing that you could be doing as well is you could have a little probability lesson on which rocks are you more likely to pull out and the probabilities of that, because there's different colors of rocks and they're going to be worth different points, and they're in different numbers of them in there. So what you're going to be doing at the start is you're going to be taking 2 cards. Everybody takes 2 cards. I'm just going to take 2 at random here. And so I have Vida Woo and the Chimney. So I've got these 2. So as I was saying here, so I can put, now even though it's looks like a purple rock and a green rock, because you do have purple and green rocks, they don't have to be the purple rock and the green rock there. Green in this map just signifies it's a triple score, and purple's going to be a triple score, this one double points. Here you have triple, triple, double, double. Because, there's no guarantee that you're having those rocks in those particular spots. So what you're supposed to do then, you're supposed to, randomly just pull out of the bag here. And the bag's a little bit snug to get out, but I'm just going to grab some rocks here. So I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 6, 7. All right, so even though these are a little lighter, I'll say that these are still white. Now, these are not actual rocks. They indicate in the game here that they are ceramics. So they say be careful about dropping them because they will break. So if I'm making this then, now I have a thing here, maximum score 42 points. So it's going to give you an idea of how many points you can possibly score. And sometimes, let me see if I can find one here. There. You have these things here where it shows change 2 rocks. So in this case, with my opponent, I would change 2 rocks with them and go that way. So they can have different, the stars will indicate if you have to do something like that. So then I'm going to take these things, I'm going to pile them on. Now one thing you want to be doing too is making sure that every player has 2 of these bridge rocks available to them. So that's one thing I've failed to do before. So that way, because you're going to need them to build these things here. So then I put that one down there like so. And then, so I see that green is worth more than blue. So I'll put one there. Then a bridge rock. Oh, I put the green the other way around. And if it falls, it's not a problem. It's not like you're out at the moment that it falls. You just keep trying. So, again, you're on a timer, which I haven't given myself here. So you can say that I'm cheating. But, okay. So then I realize my time is running out, so I quickly just throw down those rocks like so, and I'm done. So I didn't quite finish it off, so then I would score my thing up. I have 2 whites there for 1-1. The bridge rock is worth 1. And then I did double points for the green rock there, so that was 6. So I had 7, 1, 2, 3, plus 6 is 9. So I had 9 points for Vito Wood here. I could have had a maximum of 42 points, but I didn't quite get it. And everybody's going to take their turn in building their structure, see what they can do. You do that for each of your 2 things, and you're done. So then you have a handy-dandy score pad here, which has the names of all the different structures that you can build and the possible points. What were your points? And then you tally it all up and you determine the winner. Well, that's going to wrap it up for today's episode. If you have any questions about Rukshuk, or if you have any other ideas for games you might like to see on the channel, or topics of discussion you might like me to cover, then please leave me a message in the comment section below. But until next time, I'm Craig Thompson-Wood, the board game teacher, saying thanks for coming to the classroom.
Are you coming back to school with